Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
गौरव, इंटरव्यू कब है आपका?
2 अप्रैल की।
2 अप्रैल को है। गुड। ये आज का पहला मॉक है या अभी कुछ और दे करके आए हैं आप?
नहीं सर, एक्चुअली मैं आता हूँ मतलब महीने में एक बार, तो एक ऑलरेडी दिया हुआ है, तो जब भी मैं आता हूँ वीकेंड पे तो कोशिश करता हूँ कि 2-3 इंटरव्यू दे दूँ।
आराम से बैठो बच्चे, ऐसे क्यों करके बैठा हुआ है? आपको हमेशा ये लगता है, आप लोगों को लगता है कि हम लोग किसी खास मुद्रा में बैठेंगे तो आराम होगा। बी वेरी नेचुरल, जितना नॉर्मल रह सकते हो आप बिल्कुल नॉर्मल में रहो। अपने जैसे हाथ खुद से क्लैस्प करके बैठना चाहो बैठ सकते हो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं। कोई ज़रूरी नहीं है कि हम बिल्कुल सावधान की मुद्रा में बैठें, ठीक है? बी वेरी नॉर्मल सेल्फ, नॉट नेचुरल, जस्ट थिंक एज इफ यू आर टॉकिंग टू सम सीनियर पीपल। ओके, गुड, शाबाश। Gaurav, introduce yourself.
Sir, my name is Gaurav. I born in Bihar, completed my education, like schooling from Jain Faridabad. Subsequently, I completed my graduation from VIT University Vellore. Currently, I am posted as Administrative Officer in New India Assurance Company Limited, a Government of India PSU in Jammu Auto Tie-up Hub.
So, Gaurav, you are currently posted in Jammu and Kashmir, right?
Yes, sir.
So, what is the status of Jammu Kashmir? Is it a state or a UT or what?
Currently, it is a UT, sir.
Currently, it is a UT.
Yes, sir.
Is it going to be a state?
Yes, sir. Union government has promised that after some time it will be converted back into the statehood.
So, why there are delays in statehood?
Actually, sir, after abrogation of Article 370, there were perception of having a security threat. That's why they have converted from statehood to union territory, so that the central government could have direct control over it. And after, when the normal situation will normalize, it would be transferred back to the statehood.
Supreme Court had set up a deadline of September 2024 to grant statehood to Jammu and Kashmir. Right? Supreme Court in its order had suggested a cutoff date of September 2025 for the grant of statehood to Jammu and Kashmir. It has not happened. Do you think it is a constitutional crisis?
I think it should not be called as a constitutional crisis, because it depends on the security situation in J&K. After assessment of security, I think Indian government would be willing to transfer it to full statehood.
Supreme Court of India, the judiciary. Only yesterday, the Vice President of India made a statement. Listen to it carefully. He made a statement that judiciary is crossing its oversight line by interfering in administrative appointments like the director of CBI or other executive authorities. Is the statement correct?
I think it should be viewed from the both perspective, that his perspective could be the from the prism of overreach of judiciary. However, if we look at the act of judiciary, if it act as in a out of wisdom to keep check on union government so that it could not become tyranny, then yeah, I think it should be good. However, if sometime it has been seen that judiciary overreach his domain from judiciary to legislative and sometime in executive domain, and that is a matter of concern. I think that is the indication that our honorable president.
So, is not the separation of powers clearly defined in Indian setup?
No, sir. In Indian setup, in Indian democracy, separation of power is not clearly defined. It has been based on keep check and balance with each other.
Okay, good. Constitutional amendment. How a constitutional amendment is put through?
Sir, whenever constitutional amendment is about to take place, the central government put forward the motion to amend the constitution, and that should be passed from both the house of the parliament. Subsequently, it has been signed by the President of India.
Is it to be done by a simple majority or two-third majority or what?
Sir, it depends. If it is a matter related to federal concern, then it would also take the consent of more than half of the state. But in parliament, it is 2/3 of majority. It is passed.
Okay. You born in Bihar, then studied in Faridabad, right? Why Bihar is still being bracketed as a Bimaru state despite major announcements made by its chief minister?
Sir, one of the major reason why Bihar has still been lagging on development ladder, because economic sphere of Bihar has still not been changed. For example, country has opened its economy and provided the business opportunity and job creation. I think on that ladder Bihar has been lagging. However, on social front, government of Bihar has done well to address the concern related to equality.
So, caste census, has it been held in Bihar?
Yes, sir, caste census was held in Bihar.
Then why the details are not being made public?
Sir, I think it is not made in public so that it could not be utilized to further enhance the casteism or make wrong utilization by political class to get a vote bank on the basis of caste.
So, what was the purpose of caste census?
Purpose of caste census is to secure data so that the government schemes related to different marginalized people could be constructed.
So, by withholding the data, don't you think that the policy prerogative has been undermined?
I think, sir, if it is done in a right perspective, that if data is used at internal level so that the policy could be formulated, I do not think it is bad. However, but there is a concern also related that if it is released back, then it would be against the idea of our forefathers that have imagined India as a casteless nation.
I would like to ask you certain questions on constitutional amendment. Which are the ones which can be done through simple majority? There are certain things which can be done through a special majority, that is 2/3. And there is a third category also, where besides the 2/3 majority, 50% of the states also have to pass. Then only it can be passed through. Which are the three types of these constitutional amendments which require? Can you give an example of each one of them?
Especially if we look at the Article 3 regarding alteration of state boundaries, it can be done through simple.
So J&K, that is exactly what had happened. Simple majority.
Simple majority, changing name and changing boundaries. However, if a matter related to like what has been done for Citizenship Amendment Act, for such thing, a special majority of 2/3 is required. Whenever the things related to federal concerns are related, like office of governor and things related to that affect the federal things, that require the ratification of states.
GST, goods and services tax, required all the 50% of the states also. Very good. That exactly is the situation. In the case of J&K, what was the specific order of the Supreme Court? They said कि by this date do this thing. So what was the date fixed for? They said कि by 30th of September this thing should happen. What was the direction?
Sir, I think
election should be held by this date.
Okay. Sir, sorry sir, I'm not able to recall that date, but
the Supreme Court took up Article 370. In that they upheld Article 370. But while upholding the Article 370, they gave certain directions. That the elections to the assembly should be held by this date. You I think you
Election is recently.
elections have taken place, not on that date, but within a week of that thing, elections did start into process. Now, what was the regard to giving full statehood to J&K? What was the direction of the Supreme Court in that?
I think. Sorry, sir. I think.
You will have to look into that because you are posted there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so look into that.
Okay, sir.
The government gave them the undertaking that they will do it as soon as possible. Now, being posted over there, how soon will it be possible? Can you give an assessment to that?
Sir, I think sooner could be on the basis of a report that could be done, that what is the security situation. On the basis of report, that decision should be taken, sir, as soon as possible.
Is it the report or the situation? Which is more important?
So situation is more important, but there should be some basis on the.
That it will be ultimately the report will depend upon the situation. That is how it will be taken up. Now, what is the scheme of Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya? Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, what is this scheme?
Sir, Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya is basically built to provide free education to especially rural background. I think more than 80% students are from rural background, and they are provided free education along with residential. So this is a kind of PACE school.
So that is district level situation. So can they recruit people from outside the district for Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya?
Yes, sir. They can be if he or she is the resident of that district and he has been studying in their primary school in that district.
In that area.
Yes, sir.
So you could get admission to JNV because you were studying there.
Yes, sir. I studied in Faridabad. I completed my primary education in Faridabad, and my family used to stay here. That's why I applied the form for Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya in class 5th, and subsequently I got selected for class 6 admission.
Good. So how successful is the JNV? Because while you were studying in do you have that cultural exchange programs also? You go to other states also? People from other states come to you also? Do you have that type of exchanges?
Yes, sir. There is a provision of cultural exchange, and our JNB Faridabad has cultural exchange with the JNB Gondia, that is in Maharashtra, and they are swapped in class 9th. Some of the student goes there and some of the student come here, sir.
So now if you compare this system of Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya with some of the premier and schools like say Doon School or Sindhya School or Lawrence School, Sinawar, where do you find, if you compare the two, these are very big institutions, Sainik School, Central School, where do you place Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya education system?
Sir, education system of Jawahar is of its own kind, and it is unique of its own nature, sir. Some of things could be similar like residential thing, but it has its own uniqueness.
Would you rate it better than these places, or you feel ki it is not up to their mark? Say Central School.
In terms of assessment, that which is better and which is not, if we go by only that result basis, then somewhere JNB would lag from Doon and all, but it has some better record in compared to Sainik School and Kendriya Vidyalaya. However, in terms of the totality, if you see that, then JNB has also performed very well.
Yeah, very good evening to you, Gaurav. Yeah. You have studied in Tamil Nadu?
Yes, sir.
4 years?
Yes, sir.
Right. So what is your experience from being from Bihar and studying in Tamil Nadu? Positive, negative, or somewhat positive, somewhat negative?
Sir, experience has been of mixed bag, and some of the good things that I have noticed and some of the challenges also we have faced. So more or less I felt good to have a cross-culture awareness about that place, and good thing is that people are good and supportive as well, but at the same time we also find some places we felt resistance. So like that, this is a mixed bag of experiences.
What kind of resistance was there?
Resistance in terms of cultural differences, that like sometimes some of the, not all, we may feel differences with autowalas, and they are not able to understand our language, even because some of the autowala do not understand English, or neither English nor Hindi. At that time we face challenges in like communicating.
But 4 years you should have acquired some useful words of Tamil. Is that not so? Enough vocabulary to say right, left, straight?
Yes sir, only like that, like only few words, say 1 2 3 like something.
You can say all that?
Yes.
Words, you know.
Yes sir, ille come.
Yeah.
Yes, like that.
Not elaborate on that. You are from the insurance sector also. In the present budget, there was a liberalization with regard to FDI in insurance. Is there anything you can tell me on that?
Sir, recently central government has planned to increase FDI from 74% to 100%.
Is it unconditional or conditional?
Sir, it is automatic.
Yeah, but is it, even if it's automatic, but is there a stipulation that the premium should be invested in India, or you can take away the premium?
Sir, I think I need to read more detail about it.
Read about it. It's a very sensitive aspect of insurance, right? Yeah. Okay, you're interested in blogging on world affairs, so you should be really telling us, what is happening in the world. So tell me about some of those stories you have written.
The last article I have written on South Asia, that why South Asia is least integrated region among the world. I picked up this topic from World Bank report that cites that South Asian region is least integrated region. I have put 3-4 regions and I elaborated that. First among them is less trade. Due to this, interdependence, economic interdependence is less, especially among South Asian nation. For example, in South Asia, only 5% intra-trade is done in comparison to 40% intra-European Union trade and 25% intra-ASEAN trade. Apart from that, there is also an issue of external factor. External factor in China and USA both can be taken together. In terms of China has made all of the South Asian nation as a part of BRI except India and Bhutan. At the same time, America used to make extended deterrence by not allowing India to become either too hard or too soft, and the word uses jelly state.
Too soft and too hard and soft with regard to whom or what?
It want to keep it. Yes sir. In context of China, it wants to make India stronger, to contain China. However, in terms of Pakistan, it tries to support Pakistan to make it little bit weaker, so that it remains in a jelly state. It should not become neither too hard or too soft.
No, support Pakistan to make it weaker. I didn't get it.
Sir, it supports Pakistan to contain India at the same time as a part of external deterrence.
Right. Okay. But US is in a way targeting Pakistan since the terrorism struck US. So you think that America is seriously committed to Pakistan? They've stopped all aid also now.
Yes sir. In that context, USA there is a limit up to which America can criticize Pakistan, and up to which it can stop aid. At the same time, we have also heard the news that USA is trying to restart the F-16 repairing in defense system, sir. So there is a mixed approach of America with respect to Pakistan.
But that all countries do, they keep all options open. Russia supplies some defense items to Pakistan also. So where is the exception? India will also probably keep all options. We are talking with Taliban also, right? So it's normal. So what is unusual about F-16, which are 50 years technology? 50 years, I think, right? So what is so special about that?
I think in international relations, sir, securing national interest is the moral right of every nation, and in that context, every nation tries to defend its national interest. In that context, the US does the same thing to secure her national interest, and India does the same thing to secure its own international interest, as similar to Russia and all countries.
Although we're short of time, but I'll still ask you that on the Israel-Hamas issue, what is India's policy?
India has adopted the policy of de-hyphenation, where India look at Israel and Palestine differently. It does not take it as a zero-sum game either, like, and it interact with Israel and Palestine differently at the same time. Also, India also interact with Palestine and Israel to make the things to balance both Israel and Pakistan.
Israel and Pakistan. I didn't understand.
India and Palestine, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, Israel and Palestine, sorry. I'm sorry, I'm apology.
But in clear terms, I mean, now there's a conflict going on between Israel and Hamas. Of course, there's a truce for a short period. So what are we saying? What is our policy? I mean, what are the elements of that policy? Anything you can think of? It's not, I mean, de-hyphenation, all that is fine. But what are the concrete aspects of that?
India is still reiterate its policy of two-nation policy.
Two-nation? Two-state?
Two-state policy.
Yeah.
Two-states policy. And that Palestine should also be given place in international affair. And at the same time, India also tries to condemn whatever the human right violation has been done either from the Israel or from the Hamas side on the August. So these are the two things that India did.
Okay. Well, I think in the last one, recency effect, what you said last, India's policy also is Israel's right to self-defense. So we don't just say now in the last, since we have normalized and strengthened our ties with Israel, it's very important to realize that Hamas and some Arab countries will say wipe out from what is that, sea to ocean, or what is that, say, river to sea, they say. For us, Israel also has a right to self-defense, 7th October. So that is something to remember. And as far as insurance issues, budget, you take a close look. See, one of the reasons why there was so much opposition to increasing FDI presence in insurance sector was that they will siphon off the proceeds of insurance policies, So that is, and even now, I don't think the budget has allowed that possibility. That they will give 100% provided you invest it in India itself. But take a close look at that, right?
Actually, I had doubt on that. That's why I did not spoke on because
yes, right or wrong, but we are preparing you for the main rest. I think as far as your experience in Tamil Nadu is concerned, it's actually very interesting because you are trying to be an All India Service Officer, right? So some very positive impressions of your stay in Tamil Nadu. If you could make it a little more, flesh out a little more. I was there, I enjoyed the food. Initially I didn't like it, but I later on liked it. I've learned a few words. If you could have said it yourself, and overall I liked my experience. Initially I didn't like it. It sounds a little more convincing. Think about it. I mean, it's going to be your answer, not my answer. Right? Yeah? Okay, that's
वेरी गुड फीडबैक. यू गॉट अ वेरी मतलब अच्छी पढ़ाई लिखाई अच्छी हुई है, अच्छी जगह पर हो, तो आई फाइंड यू वेरी कंसोलिडेटेड एंड योर एक्सप्रेशन इज़ वेरी गुड.
थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू सो मच.
सो गौरव, लास्ट टाइम आई इंटरव्यूड हिम सर. पिछली बार से इस बार में क्या फ़र्क दिख रहा है?
हम लोग शायद वहाँ श्री राम में मिले थे लास्ट टाइम. यस.
So now what I feel that you have worked on the grey areas which we pointed out at that time. उस वक्त आप थोड़ा तेज बोल रहे थे, if I am not wrong. आप थोड़ा तेज बोल रहे थे. हमने आपको बताया था कि just slow down a little bit, organize your thoughts and then put up your answer.
That was my first interview that I gave there.
So, and I'm really happy to see to it that you have really internalized it, which shows very well about your personality.
थैंक यू सर.
So be adaptive, try to learn these positive traits. और आपके पास अभी बहुत अच्छा टाइम है बच्चे. 2 महीने का टाइम है. जो डेवलपमेंट्स हैं उन सबको अच्छे से समेट लो. ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. और नाउ यू हैव ऑल्सो डन वन अदर गुड थिंग इज दैट यू हैव बीन वेरी स्पेसिफिक एंड पॉइंटेड इन योर रिस्पॉन्स. You do not go overboard. ये भी मैंने बताया था लास्ट टाइम आपको. सो दीज टू थिंग्स यू विल रियलाइज एज द टाइम पास बाई, दिस विल बी योर कोर एरियाज ऑफ स्ट्रेंथ, है ना. तो इसको ऐसे ही करो अपना थोड़ा सा. यू आर गुड इन योर टॉपिक, योर सब्जेक्ट. इंश्योरेंस का सेक्टर, उसके बारे में सर ने बताया, आप उसको थोड़ा सा देख लो. सो यू हैव गॉट क्वाइट अ फ्यू वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉजिटिव्स. बिहार, हरियाणा, तमिलनाडु, अ ट्रू ऑल इंडिया फ्लेवर. ठीक है. सो वर्क ऑन दिस, दिस विल बी ऑफ ग्रेट हेल्प टू यू इन द टाइम टू कम. ठीक है. कोई सवाल?
नहीं सर, अभी जस्ट मैंने अभी उसके बाद से थोड़ा थोड़ा पढ़ना शुरू किया. बट IELTS स्टार्टिंग मतलब फुल प्लेज अभी शुरू करूँगा कि थोड़ा और टाइम निकालूँ. बिकॉज मैंने अभी सारे जितने मीटिंग करनी थी सर्वेयर्स की, वो मीटिंग करके सारा सेटल आउट किया इस फाइनेंशियल ईयर का. तो आई विल लाइक कार्व आउट मोर टाइम सो दैट आई कुड गिव ऑन इंटरव्यू.
हमेशा ध्यान रखो, यूपीएससी चाहती है कोई अच्छा बच्चा छूटने ना पाए. सो वर्क ऑन दैट डायरेक्शन. ठीक है. अच्छे से काम करो एंड you will definitely be able to make it. Okay, all the best.
Thank you sir, thank you
Okay,
sir.
all the best. You'll do well.
Thank you so much sir, thank you so much.